Magnificat anima mea Dominum,
et exultat spiritus meus in Deo salutari meo,
quia respexit humilitatem mansile sue, ex enim ex hoc beata medicent omnes generationes.
quia fecit me magna qui
My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior.
Et misericordia eius a progenie in progenies dimentibus eum,
Fecit potentiam in brachio suum, dispersit superbos mente cordis sui,
deposuit potentes sede, et exaltavit humildes.
Exurientes simple diponis, et divit est misit in annes.
Suscepit Israel puerum suum, recordatos misericordiae suae.
Sicut locutus est Patris
Into thy hands
nostros, Abraham et
I commit my
semies
spirit.
in saecula.
And we are live. Hopefully, my audio is good. Audience, you let me know how you all can hear me. And I hope I don't wake anybody up. We've got a house full of apologists, but we're going to do an open panel, open debate, open challenge, anything you all have in your mind. Good. Audio is good. So we have some people. Good, phenomenal audio. Praise the Lord. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing, faithful? We are in a cottage full of Catholic apologists. Right over there, I've got Gary Machuda. Hope I don't wake him up. And upstairs we have Eric, E.T. Hope I don't wake anybody up. Maybe in a moment you may see some of them pass behind me. It is midnight where we're at, but we're going to rock and roll, man. I promised y'all we're going to go live, and we are live, as I promised y'all. How y'all doing, faithful? How are you all doing? Yes, we're going to have a tremendous time. And the brother James says, Laudetur Jesus Christus. May the Lord give you peace. Happy solemnity of the most sacred heart of Jesus. End with the prayers I sent you. Just remind me, please. The goal is to go an hour and a half or 2 hours because it is very late. And in the morning, we'll be doing our regular radio show. We'll be back to doing our regular radio show. And we're going to have a ton of fun tonight, though. It is an open AMA, open Q&A, anything you all have in your mind. But we're going to begin by talking about the one thing we're doing right now. I am in the Holy Land of Kentucky. It is known as the Holy Land of Kentucky. In the middle of the mountains, I guess. I don't know. I'm in a cottage with a bunch of Catholic apologists, and we are participating in a conference honoring the Sacred Heart of Christ. And tomorrow morning when I'm live, I'll be talking about the Immaculate Heart and the Sacred Heart. But right now, I want to open it up in a special way. I want to thank you all first off for being here, for being incredible, tremendous. And I want to remind you, any and all questions you send in, I'm here to answer anything you have on your mind. Papacy, Purgatory, prayer for the dead, Mary, Trinity, anything you have on your mind, get the ball rolling. But I want to open it up by saying a little prayer for our friend, a regular of the channel, the tremendous Saint Francis Babytoe. We want to pray for his health. We want to pray for his well-being. Pray for Elena. Pray for the hurricanes. Hopefully, Elena and maybe even our friend are able to tune in by the grace of the Lord. So, how you doing, faithful? How's everybody doing? James says, Uncle Mike's chill stream. I don't know. I guess so. Maybe. Maybe I'm like Gary, kind of quiet. But y'all said the audio is good, so there's a chance I wake people up, and if I do, so be it, right? How y'all doing, faithful? I keep my word. I promise we're going to go live, and we are indeed live. And I have pinned the link. Oof. If there are any of you all that would like to come back here, dialogue, ask any questions, anything on your minds, or if you don't agree with William and you want to debate William, the link is pinned. A lot of exciting things going on. We're going to have a wonderful day tomorrow honoring the Sacred Heart. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day it's been. What a wonderful conference it has been. And I want to give a shout out to the tremendous brother James. Thank you for the support, brother. Your support allows us to be here. Look, man, look, faithful. We wouldn't be doing what we're doing without your support. And we thank you a ton. Your support allows us to do ministry. James, thank you, brother. To use Gary's words, we're here to listen to Uncle Mike's golden tones or something. As Gary's asleep, Uncle Mike doesn't want to wake him up. Show this to Gary when he wakes up. Uncle Mike, let me see. The light is off in his room. So he is in dreamland right now. He is in dreamland right now. The light is off. ASMR. King Baldwin, how you doing, my friend? The Lord bless you, brother. How you been, brother? It's been a minute since I seen you, brother. God bless you, brother. Thank you for being a goated, a phenomenal, a legendary member. I'll be louder tomorrow. Don't worry, faithful. I still want to wake anybody up right now. I hope the audio is still pretty clear, though. Y'all still able to hear me without any issues, right? Still able to do a full show, even though I'm not as loud as I usually am. Audio should still be pretty clear. And if it is not, I can raise it. Should be clear though, right? Bum ba-dum ba-dum bum. Good, good. I'm glad. There we go. There, I raised it a little bit. Hopefully that's very clear. Hopefully it clear. Oh my goodness, Franklin, man. We'll take anybody. We'll take anybody and any questions. We plan to be here for at least an hour and a half. Maybe we'll do two. I don't know. Back over there in home in Texas right now, it would be 11 p.m. Central. Over here in Kentucky, it is midnight already. I got to be up really early for the conference, but we're still here. Actually, I got to be up early for the conference, then my radio show, because we have a radio show in the morning as well. So we'll have a lot of fun, though. We'll have a ton of fun, faithful. And we'll take any and all. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know, James. Absolutely no idea. I have no clue. But let me get the ball rolling. The one thing that has been fun, I'll tell you about this conference. It has been tremendously fun. Is honoring the Sacred Heart, loving the Sacred Heart, venerating, well, truly giving worship to Christ, and having a devotion to the Sacred Heart. I think this is an area where I am so glad there is a heavy emphasis on it here in the USA. So glad there's a heavy emphasis on it here in the USA because it is the one thing that we need for the month of June. We need it for every day of the year, indeed, to have a devotion to the Sacred Heart and to understand it. So really, that is my particular goal here at this conference here in Kentucky, where I'm at. The goal is a different goal than your usual one. A lot of the conversations are going to be on spirituality, which is incredible, wonderful, beautiful. but I am going to synthesize the Christological aspects of the Sacred Heart. As you all know that may be tuning in, um, not all Orthodox, we have some good Orthodox people out there. Not all Orthodox. In fact, I've got some tremendous Eastern Orthodox moderators in my channel, but a lot of Orthodox tend to misunderstand what we mean when we talk about the Sacred Heart devotion. A lot of them seem to misunderstand that and they attack it. Yeah, they go after it and they attack it. Faithful, I'll remind you, we've pinned the link, and I know it's later than usual. Hopefully, our usual familia will, some people will show up. Um, Hopefully, we get some good questions in. And if we do, well, we'll go for an hour and a half, up to two. It's possible we'll do 2 hours. Right now, my energy levels are really good. And it is June 11th. I can already drink Diet Coke, right? Right? According to James, I can't. The guy's a total hater. According to James, I can't until who knows when. But Sugoi, you are more than welcome to come back here. You're more than welcome to come back here and dialogue about your misunderstandings about purgatory. I know you don't understand purgatory. You also don't understand church history, the early fathers. We get that completely. We completely understand. You don't understand it. So the link is pinned. You are free to come back here to dialogue, and we'd love to dialogue with you and correct you. We'd love to correct you. So the link has been pinned, and I can already see people back here. But again, on the right-hand side, you're going to have to let me know what is your faith and what is your question so I can bring you up, guys. What is your faith? What is your question? And I will bring you up faithful. Otherwise, we can't, we can't do it, man. And the cool thing is, we are in a cottage filled with Catholic apologists. So who knows? Maybe in a moment we'll see Gary pass by behind me, or Eric, or some other apologist. Be really cool. But it's doubtful. Most people are tucked into their covers. Most people are fast asleep. And our usual audience, I'm imagining we have people tuning in from other parts of the world. Do we have anybody from Texas tuning in? We got people from Singapore, from Australia, from Europe. Of the over 100 people watching, do we have anyone from Texas? Or is it too late for you all? Shouldn't be too late. It's barely 11, right? I guess it really isn't that late. But a few updates. Okay, that's a great question to get us started. That's a phenomenal one. There we go. Let me make that larger and let me try to clean my my camera. Give me 1 second. Bum ba-dum bum bum bum. That's not singing, that's humming. That's not singing. You can't get me there. Okay. Okay. um I'm not sure what you mean by that. Thank you for your tremendous support, brother. God bless you. I'm not sure exactly. Hold on. There we go. I don't. I'm not sure exactly what you mean by that. Why don't Eastern Orthodox use Chalcedon to argue against the Filioque's edition? They always use Ephesus, but they never use Chalcedon, which gives them a stronger case. Um, I mean, when Eastern Orthodox appeal to Ephesus, the one thing that they love going to, let me see, Chalcedon applies the ban of Ephesus. Okay, I see what you're saying. Now, when people go to Ephesus, They usually go to Canon 7. Um, I believe it was Canon 7. And they're going to argue, and we'll get to Chalcedon in a bit. Great question to get us started. Hopefully, other people begin to ask questions, or hopefully, other people begin coming back here. Hopefully, people wake up. Um, they'll sometimes go to Canon 7 of Ephesus, and they're going to argue that Nicaea, they're going to say Nicaea gave the creed. So if you add the filioque, you're in essence, what you're doing, they're going to try and argue, is um, you're in essence producing a different faith. Sometimes they're going to say, so the West violated Ephesus. But the issue is, as you know, Ephesus is not going to help them out, because the canon is speaking that particular canon. And if you look at the Greek really does refute them completely. The Greek is speaking of a different faith. It's not just different wording. It is ultimately what amounts to different faith. That's it. That's exactly what that canon in Ephesus is referring to. So that isn't going to help their case, especially when you look at the actual Greek. So, as you know very well, what are the fathers at Ephesus doing? Well, the fathers at Ephesus are they're combating Nestorianism, and ultimately Nestorians, they wanted alternative creeds, and nothing in the canon forbids explanatory additions. And indeed, there are additions that are made after Chalcedon. And we've noted that in the work that the Reverend Dr. Kappas and myself have done together. And after Ephesus, as we know very clearly, you see that Chalcedon does accept an expanded form. And we know that further clarifications occur, and there's nothing wrong with that. So the issue, and this is, in my opinion, the best response. And I'm glad we finally have people backstage. But audience, we can't bring you up until you tell us on the right-hand side, what is your faith and what is your question? We want to remind you, any questions you have, prayer for the dead, papacy, Mother Mary, Trinity, we don't care. Anything you have on your mind, let us know. We want to hear from you all, faithful. We want to hear from you all. Now, here is the other thing. The issue isn't whether or not words may ever be added. We need to make that point. The issue is whether or not the doctrine is orthodox. That's primarily what we got to focus on. So at Chalcedon, to be very clear, Chalcedon is not going to help them in either way at all. It's gonna create difficulty for their argument. I'll tell you why. Because we can find that in Chalcedon, Chalcedon itself employs language not found in the creed. And with that in mind, by the way, there's nothing heterodox about that. Nothing wrong with that at all. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But this is why there are many Orthodox that will avoid trying to build their case by using Chalcedon. Because if you interpret the language of Chalcedon rigidly, and it's not very smart to do that, to try to interpret the language of Chalcedon in a rigid manner is not very smart at all. If the language is interpreted rigidly, well, then absolutely no additions to the creed under any circumstances. And if that is the case, well, then you've got a big problem, because, as you know, there were additions that had been done. Constantinople had expanded Nicaea. Chalcedon ratified that expansion. And there are later councils that issue doctrinal definitions. So yeah, that's a particular thing, and that's an issue why I don't think the Orthodox have a leg to stand on. I really don't. And I think the other problem too, the other issue that we encounter, it's an important one, and I want to emphasize it. Thank you, Lino Molina. How you doing, brother? How you doing, my friend? So today is Mike with horror movie set. Lino Molina, how you doing, brother? So yeah, and I think here's the other point that I want to make, and it doesn't get made often enough. The other point that I want to make is I know that maybe there are Catholic theologians and apologists that try to avoid such language, but I'm not one of the ones that avoids it. And I believe we can argue for the filioque biblically, and I believe that we can argue from it from the fathers as well. So, by the way, we are working on. There's an update, by the way, for my Pints with Aquinas debate, the debate that happened a little bit over a month ago on the bodily assumption of Mary. In honor of Mother Mary's feast day, um, that will be debuting in July, in mid-July. So it's still about a month away, but don't be bummed out. I spoke with Matt Fred earlier. Matt Fred hit me up, and he let me know that they are waiting for it as it gets closer to the feast day of Our Lady's Assumption. They're going to release that debate. I don't think you're going to like it. I think you're going to love that debate in the Assumption. Probably my favorite debate I've ever partaken of on the bodily assumption. And I want to let you know right now we're actively working on setting up a debate between myself and an Eastern Orthodox representative, either a scholar or a popular debater of theirs. I can't say who yet, but we're trying to get that set up. Hopefully it happens. I'm hoping it happens. King Baldwin, how you doing, brother? Let's open up the Bible. Let me open up the Bible. I love that point, brother. Yep. This is a tremendous point that you bring up here. And it really does get to the heart of the issue, man. No, Jay Dyer wouldn't debate me in a million years, man. That guy's done. He will never debate me. That guy will run for the hills to the end of time. We tried to make that happen for years. Jay Dyer wouldn't want it, didn't want it. We tried to make that happen for years. He didn't want it. I know you're joking. It would have been cool, though. It would have been fun, right? Now, here is why the tremendous brother King Baldwin. By the way, brother King Baldwin, wonderful seeing you back, brother. I hadn't seen you in a minute. Hope you're doing well, my friend. God bless you. And I want to thank you for your support. Faithful. We're here live in the middle of who knows where, in a cottage, streaming live for you all. We love you dearly, and we thank you for the support. We would not be here able to do what we're doing without your support. Thank you so much, faithful. King Baldwin's point is a great one because in the Gospel of St. John, chapter 17, it says that they may all be one, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. But here is an important point laid out here, and I want to emphasize it because even though we have people back here aren't talking, man. I wish people, the Band of Ephesus that Chalcedon did was extend it. Yep, that's correct. You're right. You're 1,000%. You're 1,000% right. Yep, and there have been additions that have been done after, in terms of the creed in general. Is it 318 or 319? I thought it was 319. Are you sure? Are you positive? Okay, let's return to this point made by King Baldwin. It's a tremendous point. It's a very, very good point, and we thank you so much for your insight. Now, the one thing we have to emphasize is Christ isn't he isn't doing like a kind of like a prayer, for like an invisible agreement of hearts or something. He is really truly connecting real Christian unity with with the world's ability to recognize that truth. And unity is meant to be something that you can see. Earlier today, here at the conference, here at the Sacred Heart Conference that I'm a part of, one of the speakers was talking about unity. And unity should be visible. And when we look at that, King Baldwin, tremendous point. You're a legend, brother. When we look at that and we lay it out, it truly is the Catholic Church alone that truly does possess apostolic. Well, we know other churches have apostolic succession, but in terms of everything we're going to lay out, only the Catholic Church possesses all of this. We want to be clear. Only the Catholic Church possesses all of this: apostolic succession from the apostles, a universal communion, koinonia, spread throughout the whole world, um, Eucharistic communion. And here is the one thing that our other apostolic friends lack. What do they lack? Can anyone tell me? What do our Eastern Orthodox, Syrian Church of the East, Oriental Orthodox friends, what do they lack? Well, they lack that visible center of unity. And that is can only be found in the successor of St. Peter. So they don't have that. And the other thing that they don't have is continuity with the ancient church confessed by the church fathers and the ecumenical councils. How many times over do we encounter an Orthodox King Baldwin? King Baldwin, please tell me. Um, how many times over, you tag me in something, do we encounter an Orthodox that denies certain teachings that his fathers believed? How many times? Okay, thank you for tagging me there. I got it. How many times over do we encounter that? I want you to think about that. I want you to think about that. How many times over do we encounter an Eastern Orthodox that denies something that their fathers agreed with? Purgatory, for one. Often we encounter an Eastern Orthodox that are denying purgatory. Or often we'll encounter Eastern Orthodox that have relegated the canon to a lower status. And I can think of many so-called pseudo-Orthodox apologists that do just that. They lower the status of the canon. You don't just find that amongst Eastern Orthodox, Oriental Orthodox as well. A lot of them don't know any better. Then the Immaculate Conception, then the Filioque, then the Papacy. These are areas where, at one point in history, our Orthodox friends were united with us. At one point in history, they agreed with us on these teachings, and now they don't anymore, right, King Baldwin? That's the problem. That's an issue, because our Orthodox friends, they may preserve apostolic succession, they may have valid sacraments, but ultimately, King Baldwin, they don't have that universal uh, principle of that visible unity they need. Look, they deal with the issue of those multiple jurisdictions that exist, and this is not even joking around. Communion has been repeatedly been broken, severed among Orthodox churches. I mean, that can be seen today in the contemporary what's it called, Moscow Constantinople rupture. But Christ's prayer in John 17, and forgive me, King Baldwin, for ranting. Forgive me for ranting. Uh, but the chances are, since we're live so late and not that many people are talking, that I'm going to probably rant. I'll take your question and rant a little bit. Forgive me. I hope you don't mind. So when we really look, Christ's prayer in John 17 wasn't a failure. And I hate to be blunt, but if we look at the ruptures and we look at certain of these Orthodox communions, one would have to almost argue that John 17 was a failure, but it wasn't, because his prayer has been fulfilled. How has it been fulfilled? Well, the Catholic Church remains what St. Paul says: one body and one spirit, one Lord, one faith, one baptism. And it is only the Catholic Church that is the pillar, forgive me, the Church of the living God, and the pillar and bulwark, or the pillar and foundation of truth. That's an important point we have to make. It's a really important point. And really, it is only the Catholic Church that has preserved that visible, remember, that visible worldwide unity that Jesus, he prayed for. And really, uh, it's only the Catholic Church we can say that about. There's no doubt about that. Brother, was it 318 or 319? Did you look into it? You look into it? Bum ba-dum ba-dum bum. My man. In fact, even though Bronca, Gary's over there, Bronca, he's in that room over there, and Eric is upstairs. But I'm still gonna say biceps Bronca, man. How you doing, man? I hope they don't hear me, man. I hope they don't wake up with me being so loud. What is the Didache? Is it considered the first church orders? And is it important? And for Catholics, this is important for Catholics. Yeah, it most definitely is. And I want to remind you, if you have not checked out our Patreon post, I think we posted it yesterday, right? Along with our weekly Mariology course, which is fully interactive with the master, Father Coppes. Although, unfortunately, you're probably going to say, who cares about you, William? I will be the one teaching a 7-week course on the intro to the Apostolic Fathers beginning very soon. That will be a ton of fun. That'll be in a separate day. It's not going to be in the same day that we have um, Mariology. Don't worry. We're not going to abandon Mariology, all right, faithful? Don't worry. You don't have to worry. Mariology is going to continue for a long time. And then after Mariology, we're either going to do Josephology or John the Baptist theology. But Mariology's got many courses left. Many. Bronca, I want to thank you for your support, legend. I love you dearly, my friend. And I want to thank all of you all that have shown up tonight. We wouldn't be here without your support. We thank you a ton, faithful. First off, what is the Didache? Well, remember the Didache means teaching. It's the Greek for teaching. It's a very important writing. It is. I don't know if you can see it, but we're drinking water. I think today's the final day. And I think tomorrow on the 12th already, I think I can already have Diet Coke according to the agreement. The Didache is important. It is. Now, ultimately, Brother Bronca, it didn't make it into the canon. But very early on, it was viewed as an incredibly valuable writing, a very important writing. It's not inspired, but it most definitely is a very early manual. Is it the earliest manual in church history outside of the Bible? It is, yeah, it is. It will give you detailed instructions on baptism. By the way, it shows you baptism wasn't immersion only, the way many of our misinformed Protestant friends say. It will show you about fasting, prayer, the Holy Eucharist, hierarchy. It's a great work. Now, here's the other question, Bronca. When was it written? I'm going to say probably likely the majority of scholarship will put it between 50 to 180. I don't think it was written in 100. So I'm going to go with the more traditional dating between 70 to 90. I think that would be the most logical dating of the Didache, 70 to 90 AD. So what does that ultimately mean? I want you to think about this. What does that ultimately mean? Tremendous question. Thank you so much for your support, brother. Tremendous question. Was it not written by the apostles? Is that why it's not in the Bible? Great question. Tremendous question. It was not written by an apostle. There is a very strong possibility, though, that portions of it were written while some of the apostles may have still been alive. So we're not going to have it having been authored by an actual apostle, but it does belong to the writings of the apostolic fathers. It does belong to the writings of the apostolic fathers. Now, those are the ones who lived immediately after the apostles. It is not scripture, but it's very, very valuable. It's a valuable work. It's an important work, we'll tell you that. And in particular, in the sense of it showing you that one particular thing that I love about it, My camera, come on, camera, fix. What's going on with my camera? There we go. Um, One particular portion of it that I find to be incredibly valuable will be the fact that it lays out how baptism is not via immersion only. So there are multiple, you know, multiple valid manners. You can be pouring is also valid and what have you. Baptism by pouring is valid. So immersion is not the only valid um, form. Now, that's one thing that I think is really, really important. Do I think it supports our Catholic faith? Yes, and I think early on that it was very well respected. I think it was very well respected. Now, uh, the other question that I think does come up, and it is an important one, and I'm glad that you did bring it up, is did an apostle author it? And I'm glad you asked that. Is it possible that any of the apostles would have authored it? Probably not. Probably not. But what we can say, Bronca, we can say that even though it wasn't authored by an apostle, that the influence of the apostles is there and it would reflect early apostolic traditions. So here's the question. If it wasn't authored by an apostle, why is it called the Didache, which means the teaching of the 12 apostles? Well, to be very clear, Bronca, I think the important point we should we should hammer home is this. Um, the title isn't necessarily claiming that the 12 or even one of the 12 personally wrote it. I think that more than anything else, it's showing you that the teaching that it's transmitting is teaching that came from Christ through the apostles. I think that really is the the crux of what is being laid out there, you know. And that was a common practice, it was a common literary practice in antiquity. So just because it's called the teaching of the 12, uh, or the teaching of the Lord, or what, there's a number of different titles throughout history. Um, I think the better conclusion would be that it is a compilation of apostolic traditions, and it was probably written, I'd say, between 70 and 90 AD. But really, the author is unknown. And here's the other question, Bronca. Why don't we believe an apostle wrote it? Well, ultimately, I think the best answer is the fact that the early church didn't attribute it to an apostle. I think that's the best answer there. There's no early father you're going to find that says explicitly, well, Peter wrote the Didache, Saint Peter, or Saint Matthew wrote the Didache. The work is anonymous. So, do I believe it contains apostolic material, Bronca? I think it's very possible, yeah. Uh, and it's part of the Apostolic Fathers collection, so it's a very valuable writing. So ultimately, we can look at it um, as incredibly valuable, not inspired, but it's incredibly ancient. It has authentic Catholic practice. It's not heterodox. I don't think anybody with a brain is going to argue it's heterodox. I think you'd have to be really mentally quacko to try to argue that it is heterodox. It's definitely not heterodox. And yeah, it would reflect early traditions. Look at what the closed caption said on my image. Uh, what does it say? For some reason, I can't see it. I don't know why. I don't know. For some reason, I can't see it. It might be because I'm on my laptop, brother. Let me see. Closed caption on my image. I can't see it. Man, I'm sorry, brother. I'm going to let you down. I can't see it. Closed caption. I don't know. The hater James, man. What a hater you are, man. What? It is June 16th, according to the agreement. Unless you do a 5-hour stream now, I wouldn't be able to because I wouldn't wake up for the conference. How about we do this? How about Saturday night? I do a 5-hour stream. How about Saturday night? I do a 5-hour stream because I'm not going to sleep because I'm going to be up all night. Then I'm going to go to my flight back home. How about that? Will that work? You did not hum. You sang. Did I really? Are you sure? God bless you. Great topic, Ralph Figueroa. How you doing, Ralph? Show us those biceps, Ralph. Show us those insane biceps. God bless you, Ralph. Thank you for the support, man. And by the way, faithful, let me tell you one thing, man. Let me tell you guys one thing, all right, man. I've slept maybe an hour. Um, I took a flight, landed here incredibly early in the morning, connected with Gary, and Gary is an animal. We went and we pumped iron, man. Gary is a total freaking beast. We went and we pumped iron, man. Gary is a giant. He's a beast. He's a Catholic warrior, man. Went to pump iron. Tomorrow, probably pump iron with Carlo, Gary, and Eric. How you doing, Ralph? Thank you for your support, brother. Thank you, brother. The Lord bless you. And I want to tell you all, momentarily pause for a moment, and to thank you all for the support because we are able to evangelize. Part of what we're doing right now, able to come to a cottage in the middle of nowhere, able to evangelize and able to talk about the Catholic faith and able to pray with people and able to spread the message of the Catholic faith. Thanks to you all. Thank you, faithful, for your support. We wouldn't be able to do it without your support. And we wouldn't be able to do it without Vegemite. I'll tell you that, man. We wouldn't be able to be craving some Vegemite, man. I'm going to be away from home for a few days, but we love the brother biceps Bronca, man. And how y'all doing tonight, faithful? I have my glasses here somewhere. In a moment before the show's over, I might I might put my glasses on. Yeah. Where are y'all tuning in from, faithful? How's everybody doing tonight? Did I miss something? Oh, I did. Ooh, I like that. That's a great one. I love that one. This is a tremendous question. And by the way, audience, I want to pause briefly again, just one more time. Who do we have tuning in? We've got James Bronca. Yeah, I'm small next to Gary. I know, man. I know that. Who do we have tuning in right now? Jesus is Lord. Praise the Lord. Amen to you. 6 hour Saturday. Okay, we'll do it. You got it. 6 hours. That means that we'll start at, yeah, that's very, very doable because I'm going to be on for a very long time leading into my flight. I'm not going to go to sleep on Saturday. I can't go to sleep because the airport is like an hour away from where I'm at. I won't be able to go to sleep. This is a great question, faithful. By the way, audience, I want to pause for a moment and see how is everybody doing tonight? Y'all having a great one? Are y'all blessed, faithful? How y'all doing tonight, faithful? Probably continue at least another hour, maybe an hour and 20 more minutes. We keep getting questions in and we're getting really good ones. Ralph says, Jacksonville, Florida. I need to read the Didache. Brother, we're going to begin doing, if you have not checked this out on patreon.com, I don't know, maybe you already are a supporter on Patreon. And if you haven't supported us on Patreon, now is the time. We have Tuesday nights, fully interactive courses with Father Coppes, and beginning Thursday night, faithful. Beginning Thursday night, we're going to do an intro to the Didache, Ralph. We'll be doing an intro to the Didache, my friend. So now is the time to hop on board, brother. We're going to read the Didache and we're going to go over the Didache. Yeah, we're gonna do a whole course on it. You'll love it, man. You will love it, faithful. You all are going to be so blown away. Y'all are going to be blown away. Ralph, you're going to love it, brother. Let me tackle this, and then we'll look and see any other questions that we have. Okay. Do you think Photius, at the peak of his hatred for the Latins, because he had a peak there where he really did hate the Latins, there's no doubt about that. Do you think he would accept modern Latins not having the sanctuary hidden from the faithful? Root screens became altar rails because of Eucharistic heresies. I think it's possible, yeah, I do. And probably I'm going to even say not only possible, but probably likely that even Photius, at his most anti-Latin, uh, you know, would you know would not make the Latins. Well, let me rephrase that. Let me lay it out like this. And I'm not falling asleep. I was going to stumble over my words. Photius hated what he perceived to be Latin theological errors as he saw them. And we all know his diatribe against Roman claims, forgive me. Uh, and he believed that there were certain Latin practices that he thought were irregular. Now, unless somebody asks me, I'm not going to go into exactly which ones. Maybe another time we'll do that. If anybody's read his Mystagogy, which I believe you could probably find it online, I don't know if it's available for free online. That I don't know. I don't know if it's available for free online. But if anybody looks at his Mystagogy, they can read. Uh, he had a lot to say. Now, the Mystagogy is really aimed mostly, and forgive me, faithful, I honor every single super chat, and it's late at night right now. Late at night. And I'm going to spend a lot of time in every super chat that comes in. And then we'll wrap it up probably around the 1.5 hour or 2 hour mark. From what I remember, the majority of his Mystagogy is really massively aimed at the Filioque, from what I remember. But, in his Byzantine world, I think that he would have had a lot that he would have criticized, you know. I think he would have had a lot that he would have criticized. So the argument is a strong one because, he didn't require the fully hidden sanctuary, not as an apostolic dogma. He didn't. If he had seen a Latin church with the altar visible, he may have thought it less ideal, perhaps less symbolically Eastern, or because of his Byzantine instinct, less reverent. And in his particular very, very deep stage of anti-Latin sentiments and theology, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Now, here's the other question you brought up. Uh, root screens became altar rails because of Eucharistic heresies, right? Yeah, I mean, so the root screen and the altar, root screens became. Well, what are your thoughts on this? So they're I would say they're related in function, but they're not. You're not saying they're identical, right? You're not saying they're identical, right? I'm trying to understand. So pretty much all altar rails became, they became especially tied into kneeling, reception of communion, and protecting and marking the sanctuary. Now I know there were some later. I get what you're saying now. You mean that there were later changes um, connected to the Reformation, right? Because of Eucharistic controversies and discipline around communion. I'm pretty sure that's what you mean, right? I think that's what you mean. Yes, I got you. I thought so. I figured that's what you mean. No, they're not identical. No, yeah, that's what okay, I'm glad. I'm glad you, okay. I wanted to make sure that I didn't misunderstand you. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, I got you. No, they're most definitely not identical. Okay, good, good, good. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. That is a really good point. Saturday night, 6 hour stream, 5 hours is me being kind for today's stream. By agreement, six, you can drink throughout the conference. If you accept, I accept. Because I'm not going to sleep on Saturday. I won't be sleeping. I won't be sleeping, Faithful. Faithful, how y'all doing tonight? It is, what time is it here? It's about to be 1 a.m., but I am thrilled and pumped, man. I'm feeling great. We'll be here for at least another hour, hour and 10 minutes. We're having fun, man. Any and all questions you all have, papacy, purgatory, apostolic fathers, church fathers, prayer for the dead, anything you have in your mind, we're tackling any and all questions. It is an AMA today. And tomorrow morning on our radio show, boy, are we going to have fun. We're going to talk about the Sacred Heart of Jesus and the Immaculate Heart of Mary, all in one show. In fact, I've already got my notes ready for that. I've already got my notes ready. Church Father quotes galore. You all are going to love that show. But tonight, it's an AMA. Anything you all have in your mind? Oh my goodness! You're gonna make me wake people up in this house, man. Oh my goodness! You are gonna make me. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wake people up, man. By the way, audience, for those that are barely tuning in, we're doing an AMA. Anything you have on your mind, anything and everything, ask away or come debate, William, if you'd like to. I am in a cottage in the middle of the mountains, and we are honoring Jesus. And tomorrow we're going to be celebrating the Sacred Heart all day, morning to night, man. I'm so pumped. And on the right hand side, actually, no, on my left hand side, right over here, right over there is Gary Machuda. In fact, I could probably hear him snoring, man, if I went over there. He's fast asleep. And upstairs, I got Eric. E.T. is upstairs. And back over there, there are some Catholic friends that have some of the rarest relics in the world. Before we're done, we need to do a show. The brothers that we have back there that are in the cottage staying with me have relics of Saint Therese, uh, of Lisieux, Saint Therese of Avila, Saint Carlos Acutis, blessed. What am I doing? Blessed. Pope Saint John Paul II, and many other incredible saints. They've got an enormous, like a ginormous box full of relics. We're going to check those out in my show in a day or two. Don't worry. Is Gary doing his stream? I do not think he is. I don't think so. I don't think he is. Bunch of haters, man. Y'all are hilarious, man. Y'all are hilarious. So please let me know, Faithful. Does that interest you or bore you? I mean, we will do a whole show, and I want to show you all the relics. We'll do a whole show on the relics. We'll talk about the biblical basis of relics. We'll talk about the basis of relics in the Church Fathers. And then I will show you on the air relics of St. Therese, St. Therese of Lisieux, Therese of Avila. They even have relics of St. Francis of Assisi, Pope St. John Paul II, St. Carlos Acutis, and I'm trying to remember what else. Some very ancient church fathers, man. These guys, it's a blessing being here in the cottage with them. So if y'all want us to do a show on that, we'll do it, man. The brother who is in charge of the Relic Project, look them up. I think they're called the Relic Project. They're also here giving talks at the conference. We will definitely do a show if you all would be edified by that. But you got to let me know, would you be edified? You want us to do that? We'll do it. We will rock and roll for you, Faithful. You got to let us know. And I hope you enjoy the show we have in the morning for you all. I was miserable today, guys. I wasn't able to do my usual morning radio show on Virgin Most Powerful Radio. I was miserable, man. I was so sad. I'm stuck in a plane. I'm used to hanging out with you all, the familia. Wasn't able to do a show. What a bummer, man. But tomorrow we're back. Tomorrow we are back in the saddle. And here tonight we'll continue for a bit of a minute more. Hopefully we get more questions in. And we'll continue a bit more. Oh, we have Elena there. Elena, you want that? We'll do a whole show, Elena. Elena, we'll do a whole show. Elena, let us know how our near and dear friend is. The brother, St. Francis Baby Toe. We're all praying for him. All of us are praying for him here. Every single one of us are praying for him. Please let us know how he's doing. Definitely praying for him. Hope that you give us good news. We hope he's doing much better. I was trying to check if Ari's around. I have no idea where Ari's at. I don't know. I know that Ari was. Oops, what did I do? I know that Ari was supposed to speak at the conference, but she got delayed multiple times over in her flight. And as far as I know, she was going to take a bus and be here in Kentucky early in the morning. Pray for her travels. I don't know if she's on the way yet. Okay, she was in Chicago. Yeah, I don't know if she's on the way yet, but please pray for her travels. Yes. Hopefully she's okay. I heard from her, I think she said she was going to hop on a bus at midnight. I think so. I don't know if she did though. But definitely, I know that I think it was really bad weather. Wherever she was terrible weather, right, guys? Or I don't know, they canceled her flight over and over, man. I don't know. I assume she's doing okay though. Pray for her. And the tremendous brother Lino Molina, how you doing, brother? God bless you, brother. The goated Lino Molina. I can't yell my usual way. The goated Lino Molina, because if I'm as loud as I usually am, I got the giant over here, Gary Machuda's right over here. He's literally, I'm not even lying. I don't know. He's in the room next to me, 20 feet away. If I get really loud, he's going to come out there. And that guy's like got a fist the size of my head. He'll just clobber me in the head. You seen how tall he is? Guy's like 7 feet tall, man. God bless you, man. How y'all doing, man? The tremendous Lino Molina. And hopefully we get some more good questions in so we can continue at least another hour. What is the philokalia? Philokalia. Or philokalia. It's a bunch of writings. Yeah, I mean it's a bunch of writings from different figures that are saints. Now, to be clear, they're particular Eastern saints. Not all of them would be saints that have received the stamp of approval of public veneration within Catholicism. But is it possible as a Catholic, to use the philokalia? Yes, because there are a bunch of writers, there are a bunch of saints that are recognized by the church, that are very beneficial. Now, I would add a nuance, and I would be cautious as to what portions of it to use. That's the one thing that I would do. I'd be cautious as to what portions of it to use, because you can definitely benefit from it. It has patristic spirituality. It has wonderful reflections on prayer. And I think I don't. I would say very clearly, it's fine generally. In the general sense, it's okay. But then there are writings where I think we need to use a little bit of nuance. So it would have as well. It would contain writings of Palamas. Do I think some of the Palamite theology is reconcilable within Catholicism? I do, but sometimes I think there's certain areas where it's just tough to reconcile Palamism. Uh, uh, yeah, so I would say yes, and to be, but I would say we'd be careful because there are many writings that we can say are treasured there, and then there are others that we would look upon with caution, is what I would say. Ooh, I love this. I love this. So you say a whole show. Are the relics first, second, or third class? The majority are first and second. The majority are first and second. If I am correct, it's a bone of Saint Therese of Therese. I'm trying to think. I think Therese of Avila is a bone. I don't. I need to find out. I'll find out tomorrow early. In fact, there's a picture that I sent Elena. By the way, Elena, thank you for the support. Uh, Incredibly grateful. We wouldn't be able to do this without your support. Thank you so much. You're tremendous. The one thing that I would say, Elena, it's either Saint Therese of Lisieux or Avila, where it's a bone, uh, a relatively good-sized bone fragment that has been verified by Father Carlos Martins and other Vatican experts. They have verified it. It has actually, I believe, it has an actual stamp on it with written uh, like a written letter showing its provenance. So the majority are first and second class, and so you all are going to be blown away. We'll plan that show, and you all will be blown away by it. By the way, Elena, go look at the photo I dropped in the WhatsApp group. He is one of the ones in charge of the Relic Project, is what it's called. He's staying here in the cottage. He has tons of amazing relics with him. So imagine that, being able to sleep in a cottage with tons of relics of these amazing saints. I feel so blessed. I really do. Elena says St. Francis Babytone is sleeping right now, still praying that he can sleep instead of constantly having to wake up because of needing suctioning. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for the prayers. We're going to remember him tomorrow as well. I will ask a few of the people there in charge of the event to lift his name up there in prayer. We're going to be praying for him at this massive event as well. God bless you, Elena. Thank you for your support. Elena says, he is still sick, though. Right now, we are praying that he heals without ending up back in the hospital. Yeah, we don't want that to happen. Yeah. And it's no fun being in and out of hospitals. It's no fun at all. Yeah. Uh, I can't believe we get see. Did you see the photo? Yeah, tons of relics, guys. This guy, and I don't know if you can see his I don't know if you can see his shirt. Does the shirt appear in the photo? He is one of the ones in charge of the Relic Project. You can find the website online. And I believe his boss, actually, I don't believe, I know his boss is Father Carlos Martins. And you all know how tremendous he is when it comes to relics. So the fact that I've been able to see some of these tremendous relics, I feel, audience, I feel uh, I'm not worthy. I tell you right now, I'm not worthy. But praise the Lord. Thank you, Jesus, for allowing me to be in the presence of these incredible relics. All right, we got a brother backstage. Let's bring him up. JC, how you doing, brother? You able to hear me? You there? I can't hear you at all, brother. Weird. Let me double check. Is my audio working? Were you all able to hear him? Okay. Well, my audio is working. So it had to have been him. Were you all able to hear him? Okay, you couldn't hear him either. Okay, then it was on his end. Okay. All right, well, wait. Hopefully, he can get his audio up and running. And for the other people we have back here, I cannot believe it is 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have a good audience and we have multiple people backstage. But for the other people backstage, we can't bring you up because the devices are not even connected. Devices got to be connected or we can't even bring you up, faithful. So please consider, connecting your device. Otherwise, we can't bring you up. I do not like to say much, but I have a relic of Saint Therese. Are you kidding? Second class, it is a piece of clothing she wore as a nun. But since it was on topic, and I made sure when I got it, it had a stamp and a letter as well, then you got it right there. There you have the provenance, Selena. There it is. You've got the provenance, and if you don't feel comfortable, you don't have to. But if you could share it, I'd love to be able to show it to this guy. He's a man. He's an expert. He's not on the level of Father Carlos Martins, but he is tremendous. If you could share a photo, if you feel comfortable, if you don't, no worries at all. You don't have to do it if you don't feel comfortable. But I'd love to show it to him because he loves Saint Therese. He loves Saint Therese. So I'd love to show it to him if you feel comfortable. That would be tremendous. By the way, faithful, we've also have Elizabeth. Do you all remember her? Elizabeth is a lioness, a warrior for the pro-life movement. I've had her on my show multiple times. She is also one of the key speakers here at this conference, honoring the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Man, it truly is beautiful. Tomorrow we'll have you all ever heard of a guy by the name of Evan Ragast? He will be performing. He'll be talking tomorrow. I'll be talking. Gary will be talking. Carlo will be talking. It is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be honoring. We're going to be worshiping Jesus all day, not just honoring. We're going to be worshiping the Lord all day long. We're going to have a tremendous time. Ralph Figueroa, how you doing, Ralph Figueroa? How you doing, brother? Do you think we will see the Latin Mass be brought to more churches? I do. I do think so. Now, I love Pope Leo, and pray for the Holy Father. He's tremendous. I love what he's said and he's done so far, and I can tell he's very interested. And I want to get your thoughts, audience. I love that we're having a wonderful AMA right now. So I want to get your thoughts. Give me your thoughts. From what I can gather in Pope Leo, uh, from what I can gather in him, to me it seems like he wants liturgical peace and he doesn't want liturgical warfare, and I love that. I love that. I really do. I mean, pray for him. Pray for him. Uh, that's what I gather. What do you all think? What do you all think? That's what I gather. So I can see that happening. I can see that happening. And another thing that I love about Pope Leo, the Holy Father, is he has spoken of finding what he's called concrete solutions, um, and all the while remaining, loyal to Vatican II, emphasizing unity. So here's what I'm going to tell you what I expect, Ralph. And when I get that gut feeling, I'm rarely wrong. Here's what I'm going to tell you what I think. And I've got to take my allergy meds. Hold on. Otherwise, I'll be a mess tomorrow. Yeah, William has allergies, guys. I know. You can laugh it up. Here's what I'm going to tell you what I suspect. as I get my allergy meds. By the way, I can't believe I forgot my phone charger, man. I've been bumming off Gary's charger. Gary's so tremendous. Here's what I suspect. I suspect that we're going to have, by the grace of the Lord, more access in some dioceses. I do suspect that. I feel that that will be the case. Um, in fact, I wouldn't be surprised um, if bishops are given um, greater flexibility. I wouldn't be surprised at all. PSA: the ordinary form is a Latin mass. I strongly reject calling the extraordinary form the Latin mass because the other Western rites use Latin. That is not a good point. That is a tremendous point. You are right. That's not a good point. That's a tremendous point. A brilliant point. You're right. You are definitely right. That is a tremendous point. Yeah, that's a tremendous point, brother. Really, really good point. Uh, and what are your thoughts? As far as I can see, I think that I see in the long-term outlook, I see, you know, there'll probably be an increase. That's what I think. Yeah, I meant the traditional Latin mass. Awesome. You can take a photo. I love it. I love it. Bum, ba-dum, ba-dum, bum. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything, Faithful. Give me 1 second. Okay, hold on. And I think in a moment, oops, in a moment we will. We got more people backstage now. Okay, and we can actually bring them up. Okay, we'll do that in just a moment. That's a great question. Okay. Ooh, I love that. And let's tackle this. This is a tremendous question. What a tremendous one. And sometimes I'm Mike, sometimes I'm Uncle Mike. I don't know, man. Sometimes it's Mike, sometimes it's Uncle Mike. What a total hater you are, man. Mike, why in the Latin Church we, or at least the priests and or servers, pray the centurion's words, the Domine non sum dignus, before communion? Now, the words that he said in Latin are the words, Lord, I am not worthy. Now, I probably butchered the Latin, but in English, they are the words, Lord, I am not worthy. And the brother James is correct. It comes from the words of the centurion. And if I am correct, it's from two gospels. If I'm correct, the gospel of St. Matthew and the gospel of St. Luke. I do not think the gospel of St. Mark records those words, and I am positive those words are not in St. John's account. So he's referring to the Latin. And these words are very often done in the Latin church before communion. Why? I love it. Maybe you don't like it, but I love it. Now, I will tell you the beautiful and the rich symbolism, why this is done. Well, Christ is, forgive me, the Eucharist is Christ himself coming to us. And it is mirroring how Christ went to the centurion's house to heal his servant. What does Jesus do for us in the Holy Eucharist? Jesus will come to us sacramentally in Holy Communion. And it's a beautiful, beautiful analogy, a beautiful one, because the analogy is Christ's healing of that servant is going to mirror what he does for us, and he truly does internally heal us. So that's why we confess, I am not worthy that you should enter under my roof. And it really, honestly, what does it really truly mean? Well, it doesn't literally mean under our roof because we're in Mass, we're in a church. The under the roof really does mirror entering into our very being, into our very soul. So that's pretty much why why that is. And another thing to remember, Brother James, you found very often that the ancient liturgies would emphasize unworthiness. That was very common. The early fathers constantly taught that nobody's receiving these divine mysteries because they deserve them, and that really was uh, a theme that was even found in the great Saint John Chrysostom. Even you could find that theme in him. So, I like it. I particularly enjoy it. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you like it? Matthew, okay. James, it does not appear in Mark, does it? Can you help me out there, James? Doesn't appear in Mark, does it, James? I can guarantee you it doesn't appear in the Gospel of St. Luke. I can guarantee that. There's no doubt. Right? Pretty positive of that. Okay. No Mark. Look at how the camera pans out and then, yeah, St. Luke, I know. Oh, yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, I know that very well. Mm-hmm. Oops. What happened there? We've got a good crowd audience. We're probably going to continue at least another 20 minutes. And then we'll wrap it up at about an hour and a half because it'll be 1:40 for me. And I got to be up, I think, at around 6 a.m. But we got more questions we're going to tackle, faithful. In fact, we're going to go backstage. Let's go. Hold on. Yes. JC, what's up, brother? You able to hear me there?
Can you hear me? Is my mic working?
I can hear you great, brother. How's it going,
Okay,
my friend?
fine. No, everything's great. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal, brother. Great, my friend.
That's perfect.
What's
Yeah.
up, brother?
So I don't know if you saw my question because I had to come back and leave because my mic wasn't working last time I tried to come back. So
Let me see.
I don't know if you can see it now because I can still say it.
Okay, you said you have sources. You wanted to ask me about Mark of Ephesus. Okay.
Yes. So
Okay. You
I
actually
just
have the
wanted to
Greek.
ask.
You have the
Yes, I
Greek or
do.
something? Okay.
Yes, I do. And I just wanted to let me give you the citation. So this quotation I have is coming from an anti-unionist, Sylvester Soropoulos. I don't know if you ever heard of them.
Sylvester who?
Sylvester Soropoulos. He was
No,
an
I'd be lying.
anti-unionist.
Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I had. Not him. No, you
So
got me there.
yeah, so this quotation I have from Sylvester Soropoulos' memoirs, where he's recording like the memoirs at the Council of Florence
Mhm.
of like the discussions that were going on, and I have this quote specifically that he got on Mark of Ephesus, and
Okay.
I posted it right here in the chat.
Mhm.
If you go backstage, I have right here in the Greek. This is actually what Mark of Ephesus said during the council minutes.
Now,
Specific,
is
yeah,
this translated into English and that work?
yes, and I have the
Okay.
Greek on the side to it. Yes,
Okay.
I have the Greek right here. You can see.
The Greek. Oh, you have the full Greek? Or you
I don't have like
you mean just the stuff in the parentheses?
basically like stuff in parentheses is the
That's fine.
Greek that it's very important to how we say like what's been quoted here
Sure.
because what Serapis records from Mark, he says here, "Behold, your holiness demands that this ecumenical council be established." Right, and he says, "And then we perform the task set before it. We do not forbid this, since it is for this very reason that we have assembled. However, the present council is in one respect similar to the ecumenical councils, but in certain aspect it differs. From one hand, it is similar in that your holiness is present and those with you, and there is also present the emperor." So Mark is viewing that we have a high number of people. Basically, the assembly is perfectly what has been aligned with the ecumenical councils were previously.
I'm familiar with this text.
Yeah.
I just wasn't aware of it. Yeah, so this is where he's actually hold on. This is about Florence, if I'm correct.
Yes, correct. This is
He's calling
Mark.
it, yeah, that's pretty devastating because he calls it perfect and complete.
Perfect and complete ecumenical council. Now he
Yeah.
does say it does differ because there's two parties that differ from one another, but yet how he declares it is an
Yeah.
ecumenical council. And this
Yeah.
source is not
I've
even
read
from
this.
a Catholic source, even from a unionist source. This is from an anti-unionist, Sylvester Soropoulos, who at first signed the union, but later on he retracted it because there's a view that Eastern Orthodox would like to say, well, council can be signed, but then later on they can be judged or later on done away
Yeah.
with.
Yeah, I'm aware of this. This is pretty devastating. It also says your holiness is present, and those with you. Yeah, I mean, according to this, it is a perfect and complete ecumenical council. So essentially, what the flip flopper Mark is admitting is that when the Pope is present together, there he's present there, and East and West are there. This is
Yep.
ecumenical completeness. Yeah, it's devastating to the Orthodox.
Devastating because they always say that, oh, Mark never deemed it as ecumenical. Far from it. Far
Yeah,
from it.
it's a KO. Yeah,
And the last one I'll have is that this is from the Greek Acta of Florence, where we have the letter of Mark when he wrote to Pope Eugene. Well, Mark said, he said, what has long ago has been spoken of in need or necessity for an ecumenical council. For these matters we have fulfilled or completed today, and we have brought everything what was ours to offer. So he viewed
yeah,
that the ecumenical council was needed and that Florence completed it.
yeah,
To me, reading this, if Mark himself saw any flaw in the ecumenical council, he would have said it right in the get-go, but he did
yeah.
not. He did not say a single thing.
Yeah, and he's the anti-union hero, and this is pretty devastating. These are KOs.
So I just wanted to get your opinion on it. See if maybe by reading into this text too much. Um,
You're not reading too much at all. This is really really good. Yeah.
okay.
Um, yeah, no, it's great, especially the fact that he calls it a perfect and complete ecumenical council. Um, yeah, this is
It makes me
so he
laugh.
says the emperor patriarch, the locum tenens, better part of the Eastern Church. So nobody's doubting that the East is necessary too,
Yeah.
but he's distinguishing the parties: Rome with the Pope, East with the emperor, and according to him, when the Pope is present, this is a ecumenical completeness. This is devastating.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, what I was reading from, like, for example, Theodore the Studite, he views that the Pope is necessary for it to be deemed ecumenical council.
Yeah. Well, this is
And
great, brother.
yeah, and this is the last stream I think I spoke with you when I gave you the quote Mark of Ephesus on what he viewed about the papacy. This is the same quote.
Is there any way you can email me these? Can you email them to William at
Yes,
patristicpillars.com? Can you do that?
yes. Can you send me your email so I can be able
Let
to
me put it
send
back
you?
here,
I'll send you the scans as well.
and the next time I go live, I will open it up and I'll speak about this.
Yes, I
Uh,
want to see what Father Kappas also has to say on
yeah,
Saint Basil, Country Nomen 3, the debate with Mark of Ephesus and John Montenegro. I want to see what is the view here because you hear the Eastern Orthodox say it's a
yeah.
forgery,
Please
but
send me an
then
email and a
yeah,
reminder. And the next time I go live, when I'm back home,
mhm.
probably Sunday evening, I'll talk about this.
Perfect, perfect. Will
Brother,
do.
thank you so much, brother. God bless you, my friend.
No problem, no problem. You take
Thank you
care.
so much. You God bless. Mike, check WhatsApp. I need you to read something out. What do you need me to read out? What do you need me to read out? I'm opening it. I reject the term traditional Latin Mass and Latin Mass to refer to the Roman rites Vetus Ordo, extraordinary form, because of a couple of reasons. The Roman rite is not the only Western rite in Latin. You're correct. The Novus Ordo is also published officially in Latin and desired by the Church to have at least some Latin. Traditional Latin implies the other Western rites are not traditional, which is not true at all. They are traditional. You're right. They are. I think the only difference would be not everybody is using those distinctions in a derogatory manner. I definitely am not. Um, but you're right. The others are definitely traditional. I think His Holiness needs to do something between Summorum Pontificum and Traditionis Custodes. Bishops need to be able to have control over the Latin Rite communities, lest the faithful under them border schism. And James, we've seen that they've bordered schism, haven't we? Because the term traditional Latin Mass can be a trigger term, and it most definitely, I'm not using it in a derogatory manner, but a lot of people do. You're right. Yeah. Mike is short. What is Ari's there? Is Ari there? I'm surprised William hasn't annoyed Gary yet. He's right next to me. He's asleep. He's asleep. I'm on a bus. Bum 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 on a bus. Bum 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 on a bus. All right, faithful, let's continue at least another 10 more minutes. But you all don't have to fret. William will be back in the morning. This is a great question. Elena, thank you so much for your tremendous support. God bless you. Why in some churches they allow women to hold the Eucharist bottles and altar girls, and others do not? St. Francis Babytoe and I would disagree with women being able to hold the Eucharist when everyone receives it in Mass, and also altar girls. Now, a Catholic may respectfully disagree with prudential decisions that, you know, that permit to female altar servers, and even the use of women as extraordinary ministers of Holy Communion. Now, one can disagree with prudential decisions, and all the while note that the practices are permitted. Now, they're not doctrines and they're not mandatory. So let me distinguish what the church actually does allow, um, and from what the church requires. Forgive me for stumbling upon my words. Let me distinguish between what the church allows and what it requires. So for women handling the vessels, they do not ordinarily hold the Eucharist uh, bottles. What you're referring to the what are they called? Ciboria, the chalices. Uh, there's another term, I forget it. Now the church does permit people that are qualified laypersons, even women, to serve as extraordinary, ministers. Um, but to be clear, this is an extraordinary ministry, not the ordinary norm. So you can most definitely say, you know what, I have my reservations about this, because Elena, you'd be right. Ordinary ministers would be a bishop, priest, or a deacon. And extraordinary, you can most definitely say, well, I disagree with that. I don't think that's prudentially done, because a lot of the times it seems like they're not. Extraordinary ministers, as you know, they're intended for exceptional circumstances, like if it's an enormous congregation, or maybe there's really a lack of clergy, or for the sick and the homebound. But you can most definitely say, well, hey, hold on, William. I think this tends to get abused, and you know, I think it gets overused when it doesn't have to. And I would like for a more traditional practice where the clergy alone distribute communion. That's entirely legitimate. Entirely legitimate. Yeah, entirely legitimate. And I can see that point. Can you oppose that? Yeah, you could most definitely say, look, I am of the opinion that service at the altar, it's got to remain connected to priestly vocations. And you can say, well, extraordinary ministers, they should be used rarely. Those are all very valid points. They're very valid. And I think that many theologians and liturgists, they'd sympathize with this. Um, and I sympathize with that too. I think many would. James, if I forgot to thank you for your phenomenal support. Forgive me. God bless you. Thank you for your phenomenal support, brother. Even though you only sent it for me to read something out. God bless you, brother. Let me see. Bronca, the man, the myth, the legend says, Will, went to a mass today. It was a communion service, had the host, but felt that without the consecration, it didn't feel right. Am I, a lack of a better word, snob for thinking that? Are you a snob? Okay. I'm trying to think of what you mean there, though. Um, because, oh, I see what you mean. I get it. I got you. Okay. Um, no, you're not a snob. Now, I get you. You mean when that means that the Eucharist was consecrated at an earlier mass. That's what you mean. Uh, I misunderstood. I thought that maybe you were thinking it wasn't really consecrated. No, but I mean it's been really consecrated. So, uh, and that consecration would have happened at an earlier mass. So, uh, you know, you don't. I mean, you're not a snob. Uh, I mean, you're still, you know, it's legitimate. The church permits it. It's entirely valid. You know, but now I will add a caveat. It was today. Today is what? Today's Thursday. Uh, that would not fulfill the Sunday obligation if that was done on a Sunday. Just to be clear, that would not fulfill the Sunday obligation if that was done on a Sunday. Because if no mass is available, well, if there was no mass available, the Sunday obligation would cease. So it wouldn't fulfill it no matter what, right? If mass is available and nearby and you can access it, then that obligation would only be fulfilled by attending mass. Hope that was clear, brother. Bronca says the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round all day long. The wipers on the bus go swish, swish, swish. I don't think Ari's going to want to see that, man. I don't think Ari's going to want to see that, Faithful. But Faithful, it is 1:30 a.m. for me. Where's my phone? It is 1:30 a.m. and you're going to see a picture of my daughter. No, my phone is too blurry. We're going to close the doors to the dojo. We're going to close it with a prayer, though. Let me look for the prayer that James sent me. James, did you tag me? James says, my Archbishop William Cardinal Gah forbids altar girls because he understands that altar servers was a path in discerning the priesthood in the past. Wow. I did not know that. Is that a common thing? Is that okay? Wow. My respects, man. I respect that. Okay. Faithful, we're going to close the doors to the dojo. We'll be live longer tomorrow. In fact, in the morning, we'll probably do a 3-hour show in the morning. But where's the prayer? Here's the prayer. Okay, let's end the prayer. Let's see. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Okay, Faithful. And I want everybody, Faithful, before we wrap it up, please remember to pray also for the brothers, St. Francis Baby Toe, for Ari's travels, for myself, Gary, and everybody over here. Pray for our safe travels and everyone afflicted and affected. Pray for everyone, Faithful. Let's end it with an Our Father. Pateremon ha en tois uranois, hagesteto ta hanamasu, altheto e basilayasu, genethetu ta telemasu, hos en huranu, kai epitesgates. Ton arton hemon tan epiusion, dus emen semeron, kai aphes emen ta afeliemeta, emon os kai emais afiemen tois affiliatis, and I'm looking at my phone, Faithful, so don't laugh. Hemon, kai me aisenegenekes, emes ais parasimon, ala pusai hemas apa tu paneru. O most holy heart of Jesus, fountain of every blessing, we adore you, we love you, and with lively sorrow for our sins, we offer you these poor hearts of ours. Make us humble, patient, pure, and wholly obedient to your will. Grant, good Jesus, that we may live in you and for you. Protect us in the midst of danger. Comfort us in our afflictions. Give us health of body, assistance in our temporal needs. Your blessing in all that we do, and the grace of a holy death. Amen. Gloria Patri et Filio et Spiritus Sancto, sicut erat in principio et nunc et semper et in saecula saeculorum. Amen. O most holy Theotokos, que charitomene, ai parthenos, ora pro nobis. O holy and glorious forerunner, John the Baptist, ora pro nobis. How long is this? Oh, it's not that long. O most holy Theotokos, que charitomene, ai parthenos, ora pro nobis. O holy and glorious forerunner, John the Baptist, ora pro nobis. O Saint Joseph, spouse of the Blessed Virgin, ora pro nobis. O Saint Peter, Prince of the Apostles, ora pro nobis. O Saint Paul, Apostle of the Gentiles, ora pro nobis. O Saint Barnabas, ora pro nobis. All you holy apostles, orate pro nobis. O Saint Clement, third successor of Saint Peter in Rome, ora pro nobis. O Saint Ignatius, second successor of Saint Peter in Antioch, ora pro nobis. O Saint Hermas, brother of holy pious Bishop of Rome, ora pro nobis. All you holy saints and angels of God, orate pro nobis. May the souls of all the faithful departed, to the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. Blessed be the most holy name of Jesus without end. Most sacred heart of Jesus, miserere nobis. In the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Faithful, I want to thank you all for being tremendous, for our incredible dialogue. Even though it was late at night, don't worry, we're back on early in the morning, and we're going to have an incredible time talking about the Sacred Heart and the Immaculate Heart of Mary. You're going to be blown away in just a few more hours, faithful. God bless you. God keep you. I love you all.
Magnificat anima mea Dominum,
Et exulta in spiritus meus, in Deus salutari meo,
quia respexit humilitatem mansile sue, ex enim ex hoc beata medicent omnes generationes.
quia fecit me magna qui
My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God my Savior.
Et misericordia eius a progenie in progenies, dimentibus eum.
Fecit potentiam in brachio suum, dispersit superbos mente cordis sui,
Deposuit potentes tessere, et exaltavit humile.
Suriente simple dit bonis, et divides dimisit in annes.
Suscepit Israel puerum suum, recordatos misericordiae suae.